And now, for your listening pleasure, straight out of the home of your Milwaukee Brewers, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hip or Critical, with your hosts, Alexa MKE and MoKE, MOKE, Shock the MoKE, where we praise and vent on all things, and in the end, really just don't matter. But
Did
the
you
Bucks
actually
matter.
say? Did you actually say Milwaukee Brewers before Milwaukee Bucks?
Did I?
Yes, you said Milwaukee
Oh my
Brewers.
gosh, I was looking up their thing before I got on, probably still in my head. You're
Ah, okay.
Milwaukee Brewers. You're Milwaukee Bucks.
Bucks.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Bucks and 6 tonight.
Bucks in 6. Wouldn't that be great? We didn't
Yeah.
do it in any of the other games, so we're doing it in this one.
We'll
right,
do it in this
right.
one. Yep, damn straight.
Well, I got my
straight.
while as we're talking about it, there's my shirt so far. I didn't get one. I get one because they made the finals, Yeah, I wasn't going to get one until they made the finals because you don't want to buy one and then they get the championship and you got to buy a championship one too then.
I think
It's
Roger
like,
has the same hat you're wearing too.
I've had this forever. I don't know where I got that, but the shirt I got offline got everybody on it, see? And their
Yay!
signatures down at the bottom too. So always bootleg. Once this thing goes down and we win, I mean, if we win, when we win in 6, and then I'll go by that little corner place at the gas station and get one of their bootlegs. Bootlegs are always better.
Really?
Oh, yeah,
Whatever.
concert shirts. Oh man, I always love the bootlegs.
All right, well, we're going to talk about food and movies and whatever else the hell we're doing. Come on. There we go. There's our bubbles. So, we have new cover art, which we've been going back and forth about. Some show our cover art. And we have Dave, myself, and Lito on our cover art.
Made it in as well, yes.
By Guadalupe Fernandez. She's from South America. I hooked up with her on Reddit, and she put together our most excellent cover art. So I'm excited.
That's nice. It was really nice. It's fun. I think
Yeah,
it's
it
great.
is. It's really fun. We are kind of fun. We didn't want anything that was too stodgy, and I think it really kind of catches our personalities. So yeah,
The
that's
happy-go-lucky people we are.
yes, it's not happy-go-lucky. So yes, we were talking about the Bucks. They're almost there. Bucks in 6. Hopefully they'll do it tonight. It will be broadcast locally. You can watch it on Channel 12
Channel
ABC.
12. This has been great having the playoffs on
Yeah.
regular TV. This has been excellent. They just increased the Deer District, so that thing is going to be its own city tonight. So that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Let's
More
just
people
hope
out than in.
if we win, everybody celebrates responsibly. That's all I care about.
You're right.
Because
Yeah.
we've got national eyeballs on us. Let's do it
Yes,
right.
we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
No overturned vehicles.
Yes, no fires, no overturned vehicles, no smashed windows, please.
Again, Brewers are 7 and some games ahead right now. Second place
Yes.
team. The Cubs
Yeah.
are just above the Pirates in the cellar, so that's awesome to see as well.
I know. There's a few Cubbies fans at work, and they're a little sad. Oh, ooh. So, Moki did a vacay. Where'd you go?
Down to Diamond Head, Mississippi. Wanted to get to the water again. Chrissy and her sister like seeing the ocean, so we went down that way. We did take a drive over to New Orleans as well.
Nolans.
Nolans.
Yeah.
And took on one of their tours. This one was a cutthroat and killers kind of thing. So they talked about the pirates and some of the murder houses. And one of those was the Lorelei Mansion, which was an American Horror Story taken from it. It was a House of Horrors. She actually she and her husband actually took their slaves and did mutilation things to them and experiments with their help. So,
Oh, lovely.
and kept them in the attic. And when they finally busted down the door, they trounced everybody past all their guests and everything like that. So she was done after that. But Nick Cage actually bought the house at one time, the hotel. And there are people that say it's haunted. And he was out on the veranda once when the tour came through. And he starts listening to it, and he goes, "What else did you say about that? Was there anything more?" And he goes, "Well, take the tour, Nick." So the tour company actually has a picture of Nick Cage taking the tour to listen more. And the reason he bought the house is that he was going to live there and make the great American horror story out of that house. So
Oh, interesting.
he was trying to make it his own shining thing, you know. All work and no play makes Jack a dull makes Nick a dull boy.
There you
How,
go.
however, the book didn't come quick enough or whatever because the house got taken when Nick had his tax problems.
Yeah,
And
that
that's why
sucks.
Nick Cage is in 100 movies a year, is because he's paying off taxes.
Isn't he done with that? I think he's
I
done with that.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, his movies are still coming out, looks like. And then I also we took a trip up to Nashville. What a cool town!
Yeah,
What
that
a
that's I've heard
cool
Nashville's
town!
amazing. I've driven
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
I've never. We drove through on the way to Road Atlanta when we were
I think it's
racing.
the size of Milwaukee, you know, one of those
Yeah,
kind of things, you
yeah.
know. And so stopped at Jack White's Third Man Record
Did
store.
did
Just this
did you
little,
do
yeah.
your thing?
Yes, is Jack in? She goes, no, I haven't seen him in a while.
Ah.
So I did try that. Picked up some swag from there and just kind of snooped around. It was kind of neat. It's just in a really run down place. This hole in the wall on the side of a like looks like a industrial building. It's kind of wild, but it looks like maybe they're trying to upgrade that area now as well. So kind of cool in that.
Well, all the
We
places need revitalization, so it's
Right.
got
There's
to start
always a
somewhere.
place. Yeah, and if a guy's got to put a record shop in there, people come and and that makes an anchor. All it is Jack White's record store, and then people say, well, all right, well, I'll make a nicer house next to it, or put a nicer business next to it. Well, then there you go. That's how the dominoes start to fall. We also ate at the Blowfly Inn, which was a diners, dives, and whatever, right? Diners, dives, and
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
that's it. Yes, it was on there once.
Guy
Um,
Fieri.
Yeah, and it had right, Guy Fieri, right, and so they used to put a plastic fly in your food. They apparently don't do that anymore. We didn't get the plastic fly, so
Aw,
but
Dave.
great meal, looking out over the water there down in Mississippi, and I saw my first alligator in the water, swimming by. So, that was out the window. That was nice. had had the blackened snapper, and I have tried catfish, 3 times, maybe two, at least 2 times. Because I always say I'll try everything once, and things I don't like, I'll try twice. Because people are always like, "Well, you got to have it this way, or you've not had it the way my blah 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 Aunt Mary
Right,
makes
right,
it, or
right. Yeah.
whatever." So I'll always eat something twice, that I don't like. This is my third try on catfish, and it was a winner. And I'll tell you, it was. I
Okay,
don't
good.
know if it was cleaner catfish from where they got it than up here, or what it was, but it tasted like any other good fish to me, and they made it right. And so, just again, a cue to people out there to keep trying things. Always, give it a shot.
There you
If it looks
go.
different, made by someone better, give it a shot.
Yes, more people.
So,
So,
and
so
then we
talking
also
about.
ate at Monell's. I want to
Okay.
talk about that real quick. It was one of those places in a house where they sat you at a table, and it was family style, and other people sat at the table with you
Okay.
just as they came in. So
During COVID.
yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah, hey, this is how we're doing it now. Shots. I'm shotted, so I don't care. I don't care. So it's you that have to care, people. But no, it was a great little thing. It was, you got to meet some new people, talk around the table. They gave us all bowls and stuff you passed around. It was family style, real family style.
Oh, that's cool.
Good chicken and pot roast and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so that was kind of a neat little thing. I also did since then, after being back, have not, and it's been a while since we've done a show, really, as well. But we did do,
3 weeks.
I did do Chill on the Hill, which was really cool. Man, that
Wait a
place.
minute. Wait a minute. I wanted to get in with my story about plastic bugs.
Oh, classic, but go ahead.
So when Rhiannon was I'm trying to think if she was in elementary school. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was in elementary school. We always used to do practical jokes. So one day I had gone to the store and we were shopping around. There was a bag of plastic ants. So she used to take bag lunch to school. So she had her peanut butter and jelly sandwich in her little bag of whatever, little nashis and everything. And of course, I spilled in all these little plastic ants. So she opens up her bag and spills out her bag, and all little plastic ants go all everywhere. And everybody, like at school, I guess they geeked out.
Yeah, you got a lone spot at the table then. Plenty of elbow room after
It's just like, you got to do that sometimes because having plastic bugs.
Yeah. Harmless. It's gags. That's
Yeah.
great. And there's one kid, I'm sure that maybe they had an Ozzy Osbourne type that probably snorted a couple of ants or something. Maybe, I don't know.
I think they were a little young for that. I think they were probably 9 or 10. So.
Yeah.
Okay, Chill on the Hill.
Chill on the Hill. That place is like a mini Alpine Valley. It is really a cool little venue. I don't know if you've ever been out to it.
No, I used to live by Humboldt Park way back in the day, but not lately.
Oh man, it was cool. It was a nice night. Got a couple chairs, just sat there. Ah, beautiful. And I did post something on Facebook, and tagged them, and they actually liked it.
Aw.
It's nice to know that they.
Everybody loves Dave on.
I'm at 3 point whatever. What is it now? 3.4 million views or whatever.
On Google, yes.
Oh, and I got a bridge shot of the Irving Cobb Bridge. That thing's already at 10,000 hits. So people like bridges. I will tell you that.
People like everything. There's always somebody who
Sunsets,
likes something.
Yeah. But that and my deer rendering is still at Killing Fields from is still at 250,000 now. So that thing is still climbing.
So you also went to Greekfest.
Well, I just went to the Tosa one real quickly because they said they were going to have a TV down there for the game, and we got down there and the line was, I don't know, to your house. And there was no TV set
And I'm in
up.
the southwest corner of West Dallas, so.
Yeah, and we said nah, and we just kind of looked around, listened to some of the music there. It's not like Greekfest was down before and all that. This is just a mini one, so we kind of just went in there, kicked some tires, and just for a walk, kind of just to do a walk, and do that, and so that wasn't much to me. But man, I got a picture of all them grilling the chickens that we didn't eat, over the open pit flame, and that was good looking.
Dave likes his chicken.
Even like when you go to Pick and Save and they do that rotisserie right there.
I used to do that.
Excellent.
I used to do that. Yeah. So you watch Teen Titans. I have not watched Teen Titans.
Oh my gosh, it's The Boys Junior. It is. It really
I know.
is.
That's what you were saying.
I didn't know if we had mentioned it or not. I just wanted to continue on that. It's still good, and if you haven't watched it, the 3rd season is coming out apparently. So
okay, cool. Well, I did watch Loki, but I have not watched the last episode.
I haven't watched the last one yet either. All right.
Okay. All right. So we're on the same page. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So it better wrap up decent because I was not super thrilled with the second the penultimate episode. So we'll see.
Oh. Really? Wait a minute. I think I've seen that one. I don't know yet. Yeah. I hate to have you tell me.
No. We'll talk about it next time when we both see
I enjoyed seeing when he looked up and seeing all the Lokis that were there. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I have a little bit of criticism. We'll talk about it at the last episode, though.
All right.
So, did you see Black Widow?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so I saw Black Widow. Also, I'm going to say that since you haven't seen it, is the ultimate girl power movie.
Oh, fantastic.
It's really good. I did not see it in the movie theater. I bought it on Disney Plus. So
Sure. ScarJo's been my girl for a long time. I really appreciate her. And when
the cast is amazing.
Like, what the hell?
The cast is really good.
Lito!
There's Lito. The cast is really good. Everybody does an awesome job. So yeah, we liked Black Widow. So I think it's a good thing. And then so I went to Door County.
Up in the UP there, eh?
I went to Door County 2 weeks ago, and Door County was fun. We drove up, we went in some stores, and we did a few things. So Wild Tomato is still really good for pizza. We did vegan pizza. We didn't have any cheese on it. That was delicious. It was just like a quick day. We went up in the morning. Did our thing, did some shopping, but man, Sister Bay is just getting crazy. It's
Oh,
like
it's
that
just
place is
tourists.
so busy. Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
it's almost like crossing the road is worse than crossing the road in Tosa from like one side of
oh
State
my
Street to the other
gosh.
by Hard Park. I mean, it's crazy. So but yeah, that was fun. It was nice. There's a lot of places that are gone that were there before and different. So if anybody's planning to go up there, everything's still awesome. Oh, the other thing is they do have the Eagle Tower open now. We were gonna go and climb up the Eagle Tower, and because they got this big wooden ramp, and they got the stairs, and they redid everything. We drove
Sweet.
up. We're like, okay, let's look for a place to park. It's like, okay, there's nothing really right now. Let's drive around the park because we have park stickers. So we drove around the park, kind of tootled around and came back down. There were so many people. We're like, oh, screw this. No way.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Really? Was there
yeah.
something going on else going on in town, or it's just everybody heading out finally?
No, I mean it was after 4th of July. We figured everybody was out of town, but I don't know. And then yeah, it was just one of those
Still
things.
COVID fatigue.
Yeah, yeah. And then we went camping again. Same place we went. Um, and I do have a little rant, but we did have a lot of fun. We did our kayaking, but I have a rant. So Dave and I have not discussed this. So
Sit back, folks.
sit back, folks. Now it's not a big rant, but it's like
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
we went to a quiet campsite. So if I tell you it's a quiet campsite and they say, okay, no generators, no, noise and things like that, what are you going to assume when you go up
Quiet.
there?
Adults.
Adults, quiet. Well, here's the thing. Kids were great. Even the dogs were great. So guess
The parents are drunk and yelling and getting the music up.
no, there was a group of people who had apparently reserved the two campsites that were next to ours. Now, we had the campsite that there's quite a bit of distance between us and the one on one side and quite a bit of distance between on the other side. Well, these people had I don't know how many families and they were so loud. Now, I talked my normal voice. Roger was on the water probably about, you know, I don't know, say 100 feet away from me, and I could talk my normal voice, and he would hear me, and he could talk his normal voice, and I could hear him. Because when you're on the water like that, you can hear things. And
It goes across. Yeah, nothing to block it. Muffle it.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, you can hear everything. Well, these people are playing games, and then they're like just boisterous and prideful, and it's like, all right, and they did shut it down at 10:30, but it's like, come on, there's some people who go to bed before that. We were trying to stay up and see the Perseid
Meteors.
meteor showers, but we didn't see much because we fell asleep too early probably. But yeah, it's like, so if you're going to a campsite and you're going to have groups of people and their family, go to a group campsite. There are group campsites available in the areas, and don't like disturb everybody else playing your really loud games and yelling people's names and everything else.
All
Because the
right.
funny thing
I
is,
got. Yeah.
what?
I don't camp a lot.
Yeah.
My buddy camps a lot for his bachelor party. It's down with 20, 30 years ago now. We went camping. All right. And I don't know, 10, 12 of us maybe. And some of us got up there the night before, and some of us were meeting the next day. So Friday night we get up there and crack a barrel, and there was Goldschlager and
Oh, jeez.
but here's the thing. When I called in for the campsite, I noticed that the ones that we rented, the two of them, it was like in between two roads that curved around like a horseshoe. So I'm like, okay, chances of being next to someone very slim. All right. So when I even called. I said, hey, are we going to be really near anybody else? How close? Because I mean, it's a bachelor party. I told them it was a bachelor party. No, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Great, great, great. We get there. We're spread out over this campsite, all of us. We actually didn't know we enveloped two other campsites, which the guy came in and another couple came in, and they were about our age, so they just partied with us. So we added to it. This whole
That's
so
awesome.
so between these two roads on this horseshoe, we had this whole piece, and unfortunately, I got drunk early, went to bed early. They stayed up. Next day, I'm heading out to go try to do a little fishing. And as I'm walking down the road, "Do you come from that campsite?" I don't know which campsite you mean over in that area. I was in that area, and he goes, "Well, that noise last night, that was too much." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I bed early. I must not heard much of it." And I just kind of sheepishly walked out. And another guy stopped me on my
Dave,
way back. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this isn't good." So we're sitting down and we're having Bloody Marys and screwdrivers already at 9 o'clock in the morning because this is when the bachelor party is actually
that's what you
starting. Because
did.
today is no, it's Friday. That was just the pre. This is now we're starting the bachelor party, and they've got as we're sitting
So
there and
you
we're
were
starting the fire.
that camping group.
Yes, and I says so as we're starting the fire back up for the morning, one of the park rangers or the ranger of the
the,
campsite
the the
comes up
camp
and
manager.
yeah,
Yeah.
hands me a note and says, "Just read it." And then I said, "What's?" And he just read it, and then walks away. And I'm like, "What the hell?" And I open up, you, I saw her are kicked out. Get your things out of here. Be out by 11 o'clock. We still got people coming here yet. You know what I mean? It's
You
like
got kicked
we're
out.
we're spread out. We've got this whole thing. And I was like, she goes, "What's the note?" I says, "Because we were loud last night." "Yeah, we're kicked out." And he goes, and my buddy goes, I go, "I've never been kicked out." I said, and he goes, "I have." And he looks like kind of like, "Yeah, this happens to us." It's kind of like this. This isn't that unusual. And I go, "Well, we got people coming. I'm not. No, no. Me, Dave, the salesman of no." I'm going like, "No, no." So I went in and I talked to the manager. I said, "Listen, I understand." I said, "Listen, it's a bachelor party. We still have guys that are planning on coming here." I said, "I understand. We haven't seen each other. We got a little out of hand last night, but I went to bed early, and I usually try to keep them, in hand and everything." And I said, "And we still want to spend money at your place. We want to take the river canoe trip and everything. And if I give you my word, that I'll watch him and I'll keep things quiet. Is it all right if we stay?" And she just looks at me, and here I am already, like I said, at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm drinking a beer in front of at the bar over there, and she goes, "Well, if you make sure," she points at me, "that you keep them under control." She doesn't know me from Adam, and I'm just like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Yeah, I will." And I go, "If it's any consolation to you, we're gonna get drunk a lot earlier today, so we'll be tired at night."
How Wisconsin of you.
I can't believe it worked. He walked out of there. I was just like, yeah, I kind of relieved. And my buddy goes, "I don't believe that. How did that work?" And I go,
Dave
"I
can
have
sell
no
ice to an Eskimo. So
refrigerators in Alaska, man. That's where I started."
yep, yep. So anyway, so to top off my rant of the rude Dave thing.
Sorry, I thought you were stop. I didn't want to jump in until you were done. I
No,
apologize.
no, no. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. No, I'm talking about the rude camping thing. So
Okay.
yeah, so it was one of those things where it's like as soon as they left, the entire campsite went like completely quiet. So you knew they were making the noise. But
No,
so it just
I
seems
was the
like
guy, and
yeah,
we
it was
were
it
the
was it was
guy.
Dave. It was Dave. No, but I mean, it was like serious. It's like there were like little kids down the way one way, little, and you can hear them playing in the water, and like like little kids, and it's like, and I even told my husband, I said, I said the kids aren't what's bothering me. It's the loud adults because they should know better. So.
Right. No,
So yeah, if you're going
exactly,
out to a
exactly.
campsite, even if it's not a quiet campsite, just be a little, courteous to the people around you.
No, I got to do that at home. This is what I'm doing to get away from it all. I'm out camping to get away from it all.
Exactly. I have too much noise in the city already.
Get away
Anyway,
from watching my kids. They're running around. I know they're not going to go far. There's only a couple acres here. Come on.
we have internet adventures to talk about, Dave. So, who is up first? Oh, me. I had so the Biden executive order that he signed, I think it was last week, is a step towards restoring the key net neutrality protections that were stripped by Ajit Pai of the Trump administration. So I guess we need to watch to see where that goes. Net neutrality protects your ability to have um, a free and open internet, protects your what you pay for your internet and things like that, and even expands internet that is into underserved areas, rural areas, and things like that. So let's keep an eye on that. But that was last week, and I think that's kind of a critical thing. It's really important. So then you had Brittany.
Net neutrality.
Net neutrality. You had Britney.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the fuse is getting lit on this thing already, man.
Yeah.
Already, three people have already, stopped, hanging with her because I swear it's going to be like, well, I thought we were helping this whole time. You don't want my help? I'm out of here then. You
Well,
can have your
no,
life
they
back.
they are getting backlash, and because she's getting a lot of support, and the judge granted Britney's request for her
To get a
own
new
lawyer.
lawyer that she wants to pick. Okay, we'll
Yeah.
see that. We'll
Well, and
see
she
what
did. She
happens.
she chose a lawyer, and this lawyer is going to be very aggressive. She's already trying to get Jamie Spears stripped of his conservatorship. So let's see where this goes.
And that's fine. And so what? Now that she's got a little freedom, what did she end up doing? She actually, all right.
She
She
doesn't
went.
have a little freedom. She
She had a
she's
baby doll slip with a choker and heels going on back, and then she had then she got a picture where she had her naked back, and she edited out
so what?
her tattoo,
So
because I
what?
want to look what it's gonna be clean. And then she captioned the post, "Yeah, I like it better." So you guys are talking crap about my back behind my back. So again, she's already, and then now her
That doesn't mean
sister,
she's
she
mentally
gave her
unfit to
sister
take care
hell.
of herself. That just means
Yes,
she's a
she's psycho. Now she's giving her sister hell
so
for
what?
her tribute that she was actually at for singing her songs. She's like she's a nuts. She's nuts.
She's
Now
not.
she's already probably engaged to the guy. I mean, and even when she went back with the conservatorship, they only gave her 30% of her kids with Federline anyway. So she didn't even get 50-50 with her kids. Even with the
You
conservatorship.
know what? This is yet to be settled. So I'm kind of I'm on the side of let's let the courts
No, you
look at
don't
this
want
and
the
handle
courts
it.
to do it anymore. That's the thing. You want the courts out of it and let
No,
somebody
we
be where
need
they're
the
going to be.
courts to dissolve the conservatorship, and if they believe that Brittany is cognizant enough and sentient and in her head enough to be able to deal with her own stuff to dissolve that conservatorship. But the first step towards that is her being allowed to choose her own lawyer, not a lawyer of people who are already taking advantage of her. So
Right,
the
side,
court has
right. You think
allowed her
it's
to pick her own lawyer. So she has already done so, and this lawyer is going to be aggressive. So I'm kind of waiting and watching. I think this is going to be really interesting. So
well.
yeah.
Here we see this a lot though with people when they say they didn't react to this person who was having a mental breakdown correctly, and I'm talking about police, whatever it may be.
Yeah, but
Okay,
Brittany
we've
was
really gone
13
into
years ago.
we've really gone into a place where we can't try to stifle or contain people we think are having psychotic problems, because we have to let them live their life. Then they don't take the medication, and all of a sudden now they're let loose, without
The
their
pr-
medication.
the
And
problem
now
the problem was is that people who were even just nominally had some mental issues. They were people who were able to care for themselves, people who, just were a little outside the norm. They were locked up in insane asylums and they were taken advantage of and abused. And so
I
now
know, and I understand, but aren't we going almost too far the other way now,
no,
where we're
no.
like, we can't, stifle them at all,
No, because I had my old shop used to be near a place where there were people who had mental issues. It was a group home, and they were on their meds, and sometimes they didn't take their meds because I had found their meds outside my shop because they had thrown them on the ground. And when I called the cops to say, hey, this is what I found, they're like, that happens. They throw them on the ground, just throw them away. It's like, okay, but people are people and they're humans. You have to treat them like human beings. You can't treat Brittany like she's a dancing monkey. And I think, you know, that's further trauma. If she's having mental issues and they're treating her like a dancing monkey, that's just going to contribute to her mental issues. That isn't helping her get better. That's just helping line the pockets of the people who are around her. And that's bullshit. So
if
let her
that's
have
really
her
what's going
time.
on.
Yeah. So let her have her time. Let the lawyer represent her. Let the lawyer speak, to the
So you're
courts on
saying
her
let her have
behalf.
her time a second time, because she had her first time to get into this conservatorship.
But
Okay,
she didn't
she
want
had problems,
the
enough problems.
conservatorship, and again, that conservatorship was a strict one that is
Well, when you shave
beyond
your
what.
head and hit cars with a hammer, we're gonna kind of say, well, it's time to do something drastic, I guess.
Yeah, but that's not the type of drastic. That was an overkill on what they did, because they basically wanted Britney that was going to be a dancing monkey and line their pockets. And so, if Britney wants to go ahead and do her own thing and pay her own people, and she's a little bit of crazy cuckoo, good for her. If she can get out of that conservatorship, let her be a little bit crazy cuckoo. She's going to have people around her that are going to take care of her. So, and if they don't, well, then they don't. I mean, you see a lot of people go off the deep end, and they do. But I think this is a little strict and a little beyond. So let's see what the courts have to say about it. So yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. So minimum wage being $15. What's your take?
Hey, it needs to happen. I'm still for the fact that we should raise all food by 20% in places where there's tipping. Then you give the money to the people and keep it, up and up.
Thank you.
And tax it, so it's contributed. And then if you want to leave an extra 5, then you can, but you don't have to.
Exactly. Exactly. So I got into an internet argument on Reddit. So somebody had posted an article about minimum wage, and that minimum wage is still $7.25. It is not $15 an hour. There is no legislation in place to make it $15 an hour, although people are pushing for that. And so this person posted this article, and there were people that were so callous about the fact that people can't pay their bills, and I was just livid. It's like I've been poor. So this one person had posted after, and this was in comment to the article, not any comment I made. Their comment was, well, these people should just, go look for another job if they don't like the job they're having. And then somebody said, well, Taco Bell on this one street is advertising $17 an hour, but that's actually for management. That's not for, your basic
Still,
worker.
then you're going to be at 10 or 12.
Yeah, so 10 or 12, which still isn't $15 an hour. And then they said, well, but down the street, they're the other little restaurant is posting, well, we got to stop this, unemployment stuff because we can't afford to pay our people because nobody wants to come to work. And, Taco Bell went back to business, and they're paying people, something that they can. But this guy's like, well, these people, they're doing unskilled labor, and so it's unskilled labor. They don't really deserve to make that much money, and, all this other stuff that.
All the other people that feed off the teat of McDonald's deserve the extra profit.
Well, McDonald's and Walmart, feed off the teat of the government because they get a lot of government subsidies, and they actually have.
They put their people. They give them people minimum wage and then show them how to sign up for subsidy.
Exactly. They show them how to sign up.
Meaning you're getting hired. Yeah. Now here's how to make ends meet. Since we're not paying.
Well, I think Walmart is raising their wage to $15 an hour. So, but this person then they went on to say, I basically said, listen, unless you've been dirt poor, you are not qualified to comment. And by dirt poor, I mean, you can't put food on the table, you can't make ends meet, and you're so broke as a joke that you can't, pay your rent, and you're $100 overdrawn in your bank account, and basically you're getting your heat and electric shut off tomorrow, and you got no recourse because you're not making enough money to be able to support yourself. And
they didn't find anywhere in the U.S. where minimum wage can afford a rental property or something like that.
Yeah, and so if you consider that even if at 15, well, it's at $7.25 an hour. At $7.25 an hour after taxes, you're making around $1,000 to $1,100 a month. Now, if you have two incomes at that, that's about $2,000 or so a month. Rent in most places is going to take up at least half of that. And, then you have food, you have to pay your electric, you got to pay your cell phone bill because,
Cars.
If you have a car, or transportation, childcare if you have children. So, I mean, then you need to provide for yourself.
When it's somebody did that once. It said it's like it's that whole thing back where the amount that it costs me for childcare is about what I'm making at my job.
Yeah.
If someone's got a minimum wage job, all they're doing is taking it into them and giving it to them. And it's
Exactly.
that's a so there's another one why someone stays home. Because it's not worth it.
Well, and then they're like, well, they just get a higher paying job or improve themselves, and it's
Because
like,
they're
well,
all out there.
it's not easy to get a higher paying job if you don't have a car. If you're taking bus transportation,
And when everything says plus 5 years experience, even when something's only been around for 3.
yeah, yeah. Well, and then somebody else said, well, not everybody deserves $15 an hour. What about teens, seniors, and disabled people? Like they're not people who deserve to make a wage. And so it's like
The same job should get the same money. That's
exactly. And let's take into account. Let's say you are working at Taco Bell. Let's say you're working at Taco Bell making $13 an hour. You're not working 40 hours a week. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay you $40.
Doing that because they don't want to give you benefits or anything like that.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Ding,
Not a
ding, ding, ding,
full-time
ding.
job.
You win the lottery. So it's like, so those people a lot of times are working 2 jobs. And if they have children, now they're not home for their children. They're not home to help care for their children or help them with their homework. It's like, this becomes a whole, spiral of a thing. And so then the one guy said, well, everybody's getting mad. And so the economy has changed and the people aren't taking those jobs. So those jobs are going to go away. And it's like, no. When you're broke as a joke, you're going to take what you can get. And so those jobs aren't going to go away. People are just going to keep getting taken advantage of. And to your point, in the hospitality industry, we need to just go to a pricing system, no tip, unless you feel that the service was so above what you needed. Because I'm tired of going into someplace for a casual dining restaurant and I place my order and I use my debit card and they flip it over and ask for a tip on it. You haven't done anything for me. All I've done is pay for my meal.
Exactly.
You didn't serve it to me. You didn't bring it out to me. You didn't bust my table. I had to bust my table myself. It's like, no. So I'm over all of this, and I'm for.
Well, and even when they talk about raising it to $15 an hour in a McDonald's, excuse me, frog in my throat again. You think about 60 minutes in a McDonald's, and you think about how many people are there, and what they're paying now, and how much more they're going to have to pay in that certain hour. Now, you take that, divide it by the amount of transactions, how many shakes, how many burgers, how many big burgers, how many fries, that went through in that 60-minute time. All right. If you take down the 1,000 transactions divided by how much more you're going to give those 5-10 people running the store at the same time, you're ending up putting what, a nickel or a dime on probably each one to make it up back.
Well, yeah,
item.
And basically what the article initially was saying, that because if you pay somebody a fair living wage and they're using $15 an hour, but that isn't necessarily what it would be all over the country because different countries have different cost of living. Milwaukee is about in the middle. You raise those people up out of poverty and they actually bring more into the economy because they're able to spend. They actually have the power of the dollar now. And it creates dignity and just so many benefits to a community that anybody who's arguing against
self-worth for the children, man. It's your next generation coming through. That's
for
sure.
Yeah. And so anybody who argues against minimum wage, like a basic living wage paid to people, they have no clue what it's like. They just check your privilege at the door because you guys have no idea. And I want to see everybody. Rising tide lifts all.
All boats.
It lifts all ships. It's like, yeah. So there's my rant on that. and we will move on to, is this critical? Which that was critical, but we have other things that are critical. Come on, look at all that stuff. All right, Dave. Did you see that the Oriental Theater, which has been remodeled, is opening on August 20th?
Yeah, I did see a little bit of the background on that. They were taking through what they did and everything. Looks really nice from what I've seen.
Yeah, the photos are amazing. It's really, really looks good. I'm excited because I've seen a lot of movies there.
It's a nice place. It's just a cool little venue.
It is,
like,
yeah. And
yeah.
I like to see these historical buildings revitalized, and I do think
Right.
it's
Right.
critical to Milwaukee. So, let's do more. Yeah. So, you got your CPAC disclosure.
Oh, I just when the new career criminal politicians and cronies club had their last meeting. They disclosed had a disclaimer at the at the bottom of their feed, saying, oh, that the voting people have all denied these, things, even though they're still spouting about the voting machines and everything. But it's great that you have to have a disclaimer on a political event.
Well, yeah. Like, uh,
These are not the opinions of most people.
well, and the funny thing is did you know that the Republican Party out on 164, the Republican Party of Waukesha, still has these big orange barriers in front of their like entrance? Like, what the hell do you think is going to happen out in Waukesha? Do you really think like somebody's going to bust in like pitchforks and flames? It's like,
Yeah, yeah, right, right. Next we're gonna get there and there's a moat or something like that next time.
the guns, we got to get our guns because the gays and the lesbians are going to come and
There's a big howitzer on the roof and sandbags all around.
right. I mean, it's like what are they afraid of? I mean, they sit there
There
and say,
will be no
"Oh,
smoking in the bunker."
yeah, no, it's just
And I just had Michael Avante in here because what a character this guy has been to watch for a couple of years here. This is the guy who was the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, was
yeah,
gonna,
yeah,
unseat Trump, and then he ended up, what was he did something with Nike where he actually tried to blackmail them,
yes.
Nike, So now I'm just like, and he was going to run for president in between that, because he thought he had some good press with the Stormy Daniels
Oh,
thing.
he's so presidential.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So he's going to jail. But I'm just like, what a goof. You know what I mean? I could tell when Stormy had him for a lawyer, there were times when you could see them were asking Stormy things, and he goes, I don't know if I agree with what he said. Like even back then, she was kind of like, this guy's nuts. I should never have gotten him as a lawyer.
Oh my God, yeah. So, Virgin Galactic went up a couple days ago with Richard Branson, and Jeff Bezos went up today in his Blue
Oh, that's
Origin.
right. It was today, wasn't it?
That was today. Yeah, he survived. Apparently, he shot Skittles at somebody to catch in their mouth. Yeah. So what do you think of billionaires in space?
Hey, this is the way it trickles down to the masses. I don't know where people don't understand this. When cars came out, only the rich had them. All right, you know what I mean? The technology has to be made for the rich guys for it to start trickling down to the masses. It has to be invented first before you can make it cheap.
But it's been
All right.
invented. We have NASA, so it's like my
Not
thing
these things,
is
not these side shots. Come on now. These are airplanes to a certain extent. I mean, they're making space planes.
what do you think the shuttle was? The shuttle was a space plane.
I know, and they did. And what did they do? They abandoned it. So
Yeah.
Again, when they're abandoning this, then it has to be pulled up from somewhere.
I don't have
Someone's
a
got to take it
problem
up.
with private entities doing certain things, but to me it just feels like these guys want to get off of Earth because we've fucked it up so bad that they're like, we got to find somewhere else to go.
Well, these guys are the guys that know. These guys grew up in Star Trek and Star Wars, just like us. You know what I mean? That's a whole different mentality of it's
Yeah.
out there, and
But they also want to mine the moon and mine asteroids.
I know, isn't that something that when that asteroid came by, it would have made everybody on Earth a millionaire?
It's
But
like
somehow it couldn't because again, not everybody gets $1 million because
we wouldn't have been millionaires
zero.
from the asteroid. Billionaires would have gotten richer. So I'm kind of like, we got 3 billionaires who are going to go into space. You know, you've got Elon Musk with his thing too, and it's like
they're spending the money somewhere, man. They're putting it back in the pockets of somebody. You know, there's a guy working on that
they're not employing the people making $7.25 an hour though.
No,
Lifting them out of
exactly.
poverty.
So they have a better jobs. There's better jobs out there because if kids get a better job, so you can go work for those guys on their NASA stuff.
Yeah, maybe. STEM stuff I'm all for. This stuff I'm kind of like, I don't know what their motives are, and I'd like to see because I don't trust.
No, and I agree with you. Listen, if you can't get to Mars over the weekend, you need to figure out a faster way. The only thing we should be working on right now is the speed of propulsion. That's the only thing we should be working on.
They actually are,
right. But that's what I'm saying. It's nothing else should be happening to this point on, because until we can get to Mars over a weekend, then we really shouldn't be going there.
I don't know if we're going to get to Mars over a weekend, but it'll probably be more like a cruise. So it'll be a few weeks or a few months. But yeah. I don't know. Watch this space. How's that? Literally.
Yeah, I mean, if something happens, on there, a catastrophe, we have to be able to get there, not in a month. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. We'll
that's
see.
Why he said,
we'll see.
People are going to die.
They are going to die. And, that's why, series like The Expanse, because they kind of show once we get out there what we do to it. And we're still going to have war, and we're still going to have people who are downtrodden, and we're still going to have people who are abusive, but we're still going to have good people
Humans
who have
don't
good
change
motives.
their environment. You take a goldfish out of a small bowl and put him in a big tank, guess what? He's still a goldfish.
Exactly. So we're going to see what happens. So
become a koi fish.
You have your hunter's painting.
Oh, I just under our little okay, so what's your take on a guy should be able to make art and sell it? Now I understand that he thinks he's probably getting more money than he should because of who he is, but that hasn't stopped anybody else, musicians and other people who are famous before they start painting. Now, I do agree with this disclosure where he can't find out who's buying his paintings for I don't know what amount of time it is. But does that mean that the people can't display them? I don't know.
Yeah, when it comes to artwork, I think there's expectations, and it's like art isn't meant for everybody. There's private collectors. There's people who we don't know what they have in their collection. I don't know.
But I agree that it would make it seem impropriety if someone said, "Yeah, I'll give you $10 million to that painting," guy in Russia. I mean, it's a tough thing to swallow.
If somebody gives me $10 million for my glasses off my face right now and they're from Russia, they can have my glasses.
Yes, but not when you're in politics. It's a whole new level of stuff that happens then. Not when your dad is the leader of the free world.
Yeah, but the thing
that would seem like an under the table impropriety, especially when his artwork hasn't gone for that much money before. It's $1,000 artwork. All of a sudden, someone gives him $10 million.
I'm taking it. I don't care if my dad is. I don't care if my dad is the Pope. Which, if my dad is the Pope, we got some issues. Yeah. So.
Pope Polish.
What?
Is the Pope Polish?
This one?
Not this one. I don't
Not
think.
this one. No. So anyway, former Milwaukee.
No, current.
No, former Milwaukee police chief.
Yes, we're on the payout side.
We'll get $500,000. The lawyers will get $126,000, and it did go through one of the other committees. Did approve it, so I think it's one more. Hi, Lito has one more hoop to jump through, and he is pretty much a $500,000.
Go away. I don't blame anything he did. I swear I
don't
not.
Either.
And I do like the committee that finally said we really had a committee that sucked. They more or less kept saying that.
Oh, are you talking about the Fire and Police Commission?
Police Commission, yeah. Caught? Did you get caught?
Oh my God. He's knocking things out of my ear. He wants to do Mr. Snuggles.
I guess so. Hey, we got a show going on here, Lito. Come on now.
Yeah, come on, Lito. Let's be done with that. So yeah. So anyway.
All the other times, all right?
Exactly.
We're here.
Besides that, MoKE wants to have a moment, so we're gonna give MoKE some bubbles, and we're gonna let Dave have his moment. What do you got for us, Dave?
All right, this really kind of ties into what you were talking about with the minimum wage. All
Okay.
right, because right now we have a shortage of workers. All
Yes.
right, and we have people that say we should be stopping more people at the border. All right. Well, there's no
I know where you're going with
there's
this.
no more saying they took our jobs.
The chicken
You
chips.
gotta go get your own fucking job back, Lenny. What do you think they're coming in? Of course I'd come in when I said nobody's going to work in the US. Well, let's start going up there. And you
Well,
know
and
what?
people were like, oh, they're getting all that extra money from unemployment, so they're not coming back to work. Unemployment's under 4% almost everywhere.
Well, that extra money was keeping people at home, and that's not. I want to take an experiment to see if that's true or not, because it certainly seems that way to me. Because people should be out there. There's jobs. People need money. They should be out there, and they're not. Now,
They are
at the
out there.
same,
Unemployment's under 4%. That's actually historically very low.
that is, if that's where it is. I
Yeah,
thought we were
it's
still.
3.8. No, it was 3.8
Well,
last
that's
time I
not
looked.
bad. I think three is the number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, it still seems like people are hurting right now. They want more people and everything like that.
Well, no,
But
there's not enough workers because what's happening is the workers want better
more
pay
money.
and better
Exactly.
conditions.
And then wonder why they took our jobs. And I'll tell you why they took our jobs. I went in and gave this guy his one of our tenants refrigerator went down. All right. We didn't with COVID. Refrigerators are on a 2-month back order right now. New fridges are about 2 months behind right now.
Oh wow.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I shouldn't feel so
So
bad about my new computer then.
right. So just to give you, there's no refrigerators to be had. You go out and try to look for a refrigerator, unless you want to spend $1,000, you ain't getting one. So
What, you're not giving them ones with ice makers and internet?
yeah, the water and the tss, tss,
Yep.
and touch the front so you can see what's inside of it.
Yeah, that the
Yeah,
refrigerator costs more than 2 months of rent.
yeah. But here's anyway. So I'm giving this guy one. We had, a backup just in case something like this happened. We took out of a place we were doing an upgrade, but it was still halfway decent. So he said, "Hey, we're going to give you this one until the new one comes." And he goes, "Oh, I thank you for giving it." And this is a Latino gentleman, all right. And he goes, "The last place we had, they just gave us a bucket of ice." All right. So
What?
yes, here's America, and you're wondering why we have them coming to the border. Okay, it's not because of something we're doing. It's because also it's something that those countries are doing. Okay, they're not providing these kind of things for people. Now, here's the problem I have, and this is where I'm going a little Rush Limbaugh on this as well. All
Oh no,
right,
please do
yeah,
not go Rush.
it's part of
I will
my
cut you off if you go
part of
Rush.
my evil side here, my contempt for the humankind as well. But here's the thing: this guy is there with his younger wife, and has two kids running around, and she's pregnant with their third in a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay, so now to him though, this is luxury. Putting 3 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment with a refrigerator, running water, a toilet that works, and all this kind of stuff that he's got. This is luxury
So this
to
is
him.
where like these barely minimum average apartments call themselves luxury apartments.
To him, no. See, this is just it. To him, our regular $800-900 apartment is luxury. Enough luxury that he thinks he can afford to put 3 children in a 2-bedroom apartment, and they're all going to be okay with it. Because this is still better than what I would have down where I'm from. All right. Now here's the problem, though. How did the place that you're from get to be as crappy as it did? And I'll tell you, putting 3 kids in a 2-bedroom apartment. That's how it gets crappy.
I
When you're putting
disagree.
5
It
people
gets
in a 2-bedroom apartment and you're not stopping. I mean, I'm gonna look at it personally. When were you going to stop? Let me just ask you this. When do you stop? You're having 3 in a 2-bedroom apartment. Mixed boys and girls. You're putting them in the same bedroom. When do you think you've had enough kids to give us this world that you're going to be able to provide for them, and make them all good people, and show them that this is the right place to be. You can't make what you
do
left
you know the
by doing this.
circumstances that this person came from?
when a guy tells me that all he had was a bucket of ice, I know kind of idea over a fridge. I get an idea where he came from.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about his circumstance. Like, was he, coming here because he had a family here? Is he supporting somebody back
No,
home?
no, 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 no. Don't know anything like this. The guy's smart enough. He's got a good job, and
Well,
he didn't,
clearly, I mean,
and so
as far as I'm
again,
concerned, I don't care if he puts three people in a three children in a two-bedroom apartment if that's,
well, it's a one bedroom for three kids then, because mom
Yeah,
and
but
dad
I
get
mean,
one,
if
right?
that's okay under your rules, that's fine. And we don't know that they're all sleeping in the same bedroom. One of them could be sleeping on the sofa. Who knows? But
There you go again, though. Is that providing for your children? Now, I know you can get all these parents that are going to sit there and go like, "Oh, my dad, we had seven in our house, and it was
yeah,
only a three-bedroom house, and
yep.
yeah, it still is three-bedroom, or we had 10. Okay, it was a farmhouse, right? You still had a basement. I'm sure that people slept down there. I mean, my mom lived in once they got a third kid, they put two of the girls down in the basement. You had to walk through the basement, and he made this square thing next to the coal thing. I tried to explain to mom, what it looked like for me as a kid walking through to see her bedroom apartment, a bedroom for her in her family bedroom, walking through this and then opening up this little cabin room that was 5 feet by 10 that her and her sister slept in. It was in the basement.
But the thing is poverty isn't limited to immigrants, and it's not limited, to just people from another country. I mean, poverty is here. Um, in the urban areas, there's poverty in rural areas. There's people. You got seven people in a.
But it isn't poverty. That's just what I'm trying to say. To them, it's not. To them, it's this is that's why it's a great America. That's why they come here, because again, they'll let you have three kids in this little apartment a day, and it's all clean and it's nice, and and they got air conditioning and
Yeah, but there's
heat,
people in rural areas with mobile homes, and they got four kids in a mobile home that you
and
know.
how are they all turning out? That's my point. It's a mobile home? Is it a good looking mobile home? Is it a nice area? Are they all going to school? See, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like you're not giving quality life. You can sit there and say you're giving quality life, but you're not.
You know what? Quality
People,
of life is subjective.
not when you can say that educated people have less than two or kids or less, and the kids end up being better, and such. There's all kinds of studies that show that.
Oh
All right,
yeah, yeah. There's studies that show
education
if
and
you come
less
from
kids,
more
education and
education and
less
more
kids
money,
help.
you're gonna have less
But
children. But it becomes.
okay, so non-smart people have more children than they should under the circumstances
Yeah, but
than
then what
they
do you do?
should.
Are you saying that we should prevent people from coming here? That we should prevent people who are.
Not people coming from here. I'm not trying to say that. No, no. I'm just saying, how do you communicate that it's not right to put three kids in one bedroom in a two-bedroom apartment?
I don't know how it's not right. I mean, it's like it happens, and that circumstance. And how do we know
Well,
that
it doesn't
this?
just
How do we
happen.
know
That's what I'm
that this
saying.
isn't a stop on them buying a house?
Oh,
That they're going to
because I
save
see
enough
it every
money.
day. I see it. I'm pointing at one in an 80-unit apartment. I can tell you there's five of them. Okay,
So
five of those
and are
same
they all staying there for
circumstances.
20 years?
Haven't seen any of them move out and talk about a house yet. This is how they live. Just like that woman who came out of her apartment and out of her room and said, "Oh, I OD'd again last night," and she's got three kids sitting there that her mom's watching. You know, I did Narcan. They had to give me Narcan last night again.
You know what? That's unfortunate, but that's how some people live, and I think we need more support for those people rather than judgment.
No, we need more education for those people.
Education and support, yeah, and less judgment. Because
Well,
if the kids
support
are
would be more
educated,
money because you had more kids. Now we're going to give you more handouts. That's not the way it should go.
well, you just said he's working. He's not getting a handout.
He's not. He is working. I'm just saying
Yeah,
we
no,
don't want
no.
to get to that point.
Let's not do a dog whistle or a false equivalency. Let's talk about yeah.
I
So
know it's
yeah.
just something that it bothers me. I don't have an answer, and that's why you know what
Nobody has the right
more people are
answer.
frustrated when get
Nobody has the
mad at
right
stuff
answer.
because they don't have an answer for something.
Yeah.
That's what makes people mad. Is
But
that they
I think rather than getting mad because we don't have the answers, we have to address situations individually as they come up, and we need a better support system. I mean, going forward, we need a support system and we need it to work.
and not
And
having kids should be a thing.
But
And
how do
unfortunately,
you
with
tell people
religion, you
not to
can't.
have kids? I mean,
Yeah, with religion, you can't. And
yeah.
especially with Latino religion, there's just no way. No,
Well, not only Latino religion,
I
let's
can
just call it
subject.
Christians.
Yeah,
Across the board, across the world. Christians are
yeah,
breeders.
yeah.
And you might get offended at that, but when you have the Christian Coalition and the religious right actively working against Planned Parenthood and birth control, and you have the Catholic Church telling people that birth control is a sin, you're going to have people who are just going to be, well, it's a sin. We can't do that.
Yep.
So that again, that's a different issue. That's not, oh, well, I have kids and now I've got to support them and we'll do the best we can. So yeah, and they're not taking our jobs. They're supporting themselves. So
These are for now. But the next group now, that's the problem. There's
you
the
know what? This has
overpopulation
always been
comes
an
in.
immigrant country. It was
I
China.
don't. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm not saying it's not. But you
Yeah.
got to provide. You can't make this what you left. Okay. I mean, you can't
They're not.
cram 6 people into an apartment when you shouldn't be. That's the whole
I mean,
idea
but
of
look
coming
at the
here.
Irish who immigrated here. Look at the Chinese who immigrated here. Look at other ethnic groups that here in Milwaukee, the Germans and the Polish. I mean, they had a lot of people living in the flat too, and now they don't. So people are moving here to improve themselves, but it's a stepping stone to a better life. So that's how you have to look at it. This may be their stepping stone. It's not their way of life. It's their stepping stone.
I
So.
will look at it from that way, that
Yep.
perspective.
So we have some hip happenings to talk
They
about.
took our jobs.
They didn't take our jobs. Nobody wants those damn jobs. Anyway,
Exactly.
so Dave, you go
Let
to
them
State
in.
Fair?
Let the border open. You fuckers ain't going back to work. Let the border open.
Exactly. All right, Dave, you go to State Fair?
I tried to go
All
by
right,
once.
we're gonna
Eat
get you one
something
of
on a
them carny
stick.
jobs.
Yeah.
August 5th to 15th, State Fair. Yeah, I think somebody said it's a little shorter this year. I don't know if that's true because I don't go to State Fair because I don't go to
I tried
crowds.
to call in radio station for tickets so I could see Billy Idol because I saw Billy Idol at the State Fair back in 1980 something.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you have?
She cried, Mo, Mo, Mo.
Yeah. So and you had Waukesha Fair in there.
Right. And they've got a rat problem.
Wah, wah, wah,
Round and
wah.
round, what comes around goes around. So they're going to be there. It's actually Friday. And Saturday is Collective Soul, which is an old band I love. I've actually seen them a couple of times. In fact, I think, and we forgot to do concert shirts, but
Oh yeah, so
might
you
as
have to do
well.
the Dave shirt.
What? There's a
Yeah.
Collective Soul. There's a Tesla unplugged one. Oh, thought it was my Collective Soul one.
No, it's
Oh well,
Tesla.
that's my Tesla unplugged. I had a Collective Soul one too. Hmm. All right.
Dave did a bad segue.
Still a
Yes.
concert shirt. It's just not the one I thought I had. And then Bad Boy opens for is August 9th, and then they actually open September 2nd for Summerfest.
That's
It's
cool.
one of the first bands, and Bad Boy, right? Local
Yep.
band.
Yep.
And again, I had that album signed by the one guy, Steve Grimm. And again, where were there? What TV show was their album featured on?
Don't remember.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Ah, okay.
Bailey walked by with a Bad Boy album showing at one time.
Oh
Oh, that was
no. An Easter egg. So
I
yeah.
tried to get that album from the sign, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
So we have Renaissance Fair coming up. It's in Bristol, Wisconsin. Now through September 2nd. Tickets are $22 at Menards.
It's not an Oshkosh, the Renaissance Fair. I saw it on TV. There's a Ren
No,
Fair in
that was
Oshkosh.
the one in Loki, like in whatever. No,
Oh,
our
okay.
real Renaissance Fair is in Bristol. Adult tickets are normally $25.95, so the $22 is really well. If you're a senior, $24.95. Again, that makes the Menards price better. Military, same thing. Children are
Oh, so pick up the tickets at Menards. Cool.
Yes, children are 11.50, ages 5 to 12, and anybody under 4 is free. And yeah, there are also season passes available. And if you go on their website, they have some like theme weekends. So that's kind of cool too if you want to see what's all going on. But they have a lot of stuff there, a lot of food, a lot of vendors, a lot of entertainment. It's a fun weekend for everybody. So yeah. So yeah, you like art in the park?
I like art.
Art in the park. Red Arrow Park through August 11th is having canvas art and chalk art murals. It's going to be like different dates. So if you go online and you look up Art in the Park Milwaukee, you can see the list of everything they're doing. Also, Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream, starting July 24th, which I believe is this weekend. It's by the Optimist Theater. It is free. It is a shorter version of A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, I love to hear that.
Yeah,
Shorter version of a play. Oh.
Yeah, so it's a little bit shorter version. See their website, the Optimist Theater website, for locations and dates.
It's not naked Shakespeare.
It's not naked Shakespeare. No. And then after we win the championship, which is going to happen tonight,
Bucks and Six.
It's the Bucks and Six. Deer District is having a night market. It's going to feature, not fecal. It's going to feature local vendors. It'll be 7 different Wednesdays and 1 Saturday starting July 28th, which is a week from tomorrow. And look on their website because they'll have the specific dates. And I believe it's like from like 5 to 9 or something like that when they do it. So they'll be, yeah. So they're going to
Well, they got this thing made and everybody in the nation's calling, every place that has sports now. All right, we want to put a Deer District together. How do we do it?
Yeah. Well, they have to do it a Deer District. It just
not a Deer District.
Yes, no, it has to be a Deer District.
Yeah, it has to be. Well, that's the whole argument with, is a Lambeau Leap still a Lambeau Leap at any other?
No, it can't be.
Right.
Well, speaking of Lambeau, a week from Saturday, we're going for the tour and the Hall of Fame.
Family night?
No, tour and Hall of Fame. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, the trophy.
There you go. Yes. So yeah, and then you went to Chill on the Hill. Any other?
Yes. No, that just started the 13th. They're gonna be doing that for 6 or 8 weeks. So I'm just saying, continue on with that. Watch that.
Cool.
Arts at Large. You had that. That's yours. Oh, it's
no, that's yours.
Oh yeah, Arts at Large. Yeah, Under the Stars, free. Yeah, Eco Parks come walkers by Walkers, and there's a band called Abraxas, which I think was the name of a Santana album.
It was the name of a Santana album.
And actually it means something. It's like the words in a charm for luck or something like that.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm not quite sure. But it was a Santana album, and I owned that Santana album.
Yes, that's the one that's got Oyo Como Va, I think, on it, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
I know. Is that it? All right.
Might be.
And I am going to Van Gogh tomorrow, the immersion. Cool. Yeah, so be able to check out that. Oh, I forgot a couple of little things I did too. Forgot. I had an unboxing.
It's amazing.
I pre-ordered it, and it finally came. The Bernie Sanders bobblehead with the mittens and the chair. I think that was great. That might go in the time capsule. I think. My last estate sale, I found a couple fun things. One thing was this.
Dick Tracy.
Is
that the watch?
And the watch. And there's actually it's a grooming set with a watch, a comb, and there's even Dick Tracy aftershave. What the hell do you think that smells like?
Oh my God. Did you open it?
No.
That's disgusting.
You don't open those things.
That's disgusting.
And then this was there too, which I thought was kind of funny.
Is that like a paddle from
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Yes.
Oh my goodness. Dave's a sadist. He really is.
Not only, and I looked up the letters. Do you know what these letters are? Just
Delta and what?
Epsilon, actually. I had to look it up. I knew the Delta. I had to look up the Epsilon as well.
Yeah.
But again, as seen in a good scene in Animal House.
Yes.
And also in Dazed and Confused.
Okay.
Because it's Ben Affleck, I believe, that runs around and is battling the freshmen's butts with one of these
Oh,
things.
jeez.
You know?
Yeah, hazing is now not a thing anymore.
Yeah. 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 Hazing. Yeah.
Yep. All
Took all
right.
our fun. They took our fun.
They took her fun. All right, so we're going to do some pearls of wisdom. Today, our pearls of wisdom are from Albert Einstein, Mr. Genius himself. The difference between stupidity and genius is that genius has its limits.
Yes. Smart man.
Yes. So stupidity knows no bounds if people are not able to get that. So,
and again, we don't listen to our own advice, which is stay silent and be thought a fool, rather than open your mouth and remove all doubt.
exactly. Anyway, we'd like to thank our viewers and listeners, Dave's mom, Shadesy, Marianne, Chrissy, my friend Pat, who moved away. Hopefully everything's going well with Pat
Hey,
now.
Pat. Hope it's going
Hi,
well.
Pat. Yeah, we have new neighbors, Pat. I haven't met them. They moved in over the weekend when we were camping. So
How's the Yukon doing?
Yukon's doing well. Yeah, Yukon's doing good.
Mine's like knee high already now.
Yeah. Rogers is pretty tall. So we'd like to thank anybody who stumbled across us randomly. If you tell two people, they'll tell two people.
They tell two people.
And they tell two people. And then the next thing you know, we become internet famous. And yeah. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, hip.or.critical. You can tweet me over here, and you can look up Dave at his MoKE Milwaukee page. He's got his Bucks shirt, his Bucks hat, and if you tilt your camera up, you can see his Bucks
lighted sweater.
His Bucks Christmas sweater. So yeah, I think we had a good show. We can say stay safe, Milwaukee.
Bucks and six.
Bucks and six. Everybody be good.
Love you all. Peace
Love
out.
you. Peace out.
Good long and prosper.
There you go.